Hello and welcome to episode 51 of our Ostriv Alpha 4.7 Let's Play. Yes, it has been, what, 5 months? A little more since we did a video on Ostriv. Yeah, I figured, we've been doing so much Timberborn for the past forever, 70 videos on the channel, that we could take a little bit of time and revisit the game that got it all started. Here we are in March of 1803 in the town. I did do a little bit of a time skip to take care of a couple things, try to figure out why the game was crashing so much, and get a couple of other things done, but for right now, stuff seems to be going pretty well. Right now we are watching in real time because I cannot run the game at 12 times speed anymore. This guy plows some fields for, looks like some hemp, and then we have 7 other fields that they're going to be taking care of as well. This is a farm we just put in episode 50 back in October. So yeah, that was quite a long time ago. So let's give a brief recap of the town. This is the longest Let's Play I think I've ever done. We're in, 82 years from the settlement start. We have 2,468 people. We have tons of houses. Please do not crash. I had to turn autosave back on. I figured that was actually working now again, after having that been my arch nemesis forever if you watched any of these videos. But yeah, we have a pretty big town. Most of the map is developed, except this little bit right here, and then down here. And the goal I always had prior to Russia invading Ukraine was to have this completely built out before the update 5 dropped, try to get to 3,000 people. Unfortunately, we all know what's going on in Ukraine, and somehow the developers of this game are still going. They're posting updates on Twitter, and they're staying safe. They're doing a bunch of humanitarian aid for their fellow countrymen, and obviously wish the best for them. But in the meantime, while we're still waiting for update 5, and we've been assured that is coming at some point, they're just not going to give a date. They never really do. We have all this space to play with and put in some more houses. I really want to get up to 3,000 population because I've not seen a town with that many. If you know of one, please let me know in the comments. Send a link to the video or anything like that, because that would be really, really cool to see. But what I wanted to do today is just do a couple little projects. This is not going to be a contiguous, unedited video, because that would be unbelievably boring and also about 5 hours long, because I cannot run the game at the top speed anymore, because it just doesn't work. Yeah, let's look at a couple more spots. We obviously have, if I can zoom out far enough, you'll notice things are kind of clustered around farms. I've got a big farm here. Well, actually, is this one farm or 2 farms? No, this is 2 farms. We have this one down here has all of these fields. This one up here has all of these. And then we have different houses. We've got a little area down here for all of our livestock. A whole bunch of chicken coops. We've got some cow sheds. We have other things. And then, of course, we have these houses with the larger yards that will pretty soon be planting their own crops. Some of them even have bees. You'll notice they have their own... Wow, this guy's got a lot of honey. But they have their own different crops that they grow. And, of course, different things have been added that can be sold in markets, like we have right here. All these granaries have the different things that the farms produce, as well as local things. Obviously, I don't have enough room for everything in just 2 of those, so some of these will have 3 or even 4. Of course, we have apples, apricots, and cherries that we're growing over here on this side of the map in all of our orchards. Got 9 of them over here. And we have markets scattered all over the place as well, like you might have come to expect. They're pretty well laid out. I mean, I didn't exhaustively plot out this entire town. It just kind of has grown organically a little bit. I think the very first area of the town would have been probably right about here. I think I have the original, yeah, this campfire right here. This is the very first thing the game places. You have a campfire, and then you have all of your tents around it, and you have everything. And then, of course, you have to build the town hall and then all that. If you've seen the first 50 episodes of this series, you understand that. If you're coming here from maybe being a Timberborn watcher for the past 5 months, yep, that's the game is a whole lot more in-depth and micromanaging than Timberborn is. And there's a lot of different employment things you can do. You have a whole economic panel. You can adjust taxes and wages and everything. Create your own little kind of semi-self-contained economy with different things. I don't. There's a lot of fun stuff. You got taverns, you got churches, you got little chapels, you got graveyards. These are all the first couple people that have died in the town a really long time ago. 1739. I think some of these down here. Yeah, 1724. So might be the oldest one. 1724. Sounds about right. I believe the game starts you in 1723. Could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. All of you Ostriv aficionados. But yeah, suffice to say, we put a lot of work into this town, and we've done a lot of really cool stuff. And that's why I want to keep it going, because I think that a lot of this we can be really proud of. I especially like these shorefront areas where we have houses kind of stacked. These little things hugging the bends of the river. We have all this up here. All of our fishing, all of our fulling mills, all of our sheep to make all of our clothing and everything. And I feel like a lot of this is really, really cool. And I was really hoping we could get a little bit more done here. I don't know why these fields aren't showing us plowed, because, well, I mean, they are being plowed. So I don't know why the graphics aren't updating for these. These guys are just kind of off doing their own thing. Because all of these fields, they're plowing as well, and it's just I don't know, one of those weird this game, when you play it this long, this save I think is coming up on 2 years old. Might be, because I think I started this might have been, yeah, this was Alpha 4.5, Alpha 4 was released, I want to say 2021, and then I had to restart because the game crashed or something. Anyway, but this save, I think this year will be turning 2 years old. And I would really, really like to get this whole thing finished. So, suffice to say, I've spent enough time talking. We're going to go ahead and just kind of jump around, showing a little progress on projects as we build more houses here and get more of these reforestation areas planted. I've put in a bunch more of these foresters. We now have 8 up here. Every time the game auto-saves, it makes me just a little bit paranoid, because the game really, really loved to crash on that. But when I was trying to record a couple months back, I was really trying to record a bunch more Ostriv videos, and it just would not work. So that's why we kind of stuck with Timberborn forever. But hey, it's Monday. We're trying out a new thing, revisiting the town. We got all sorts of fun stuff to show you guys. So we'll go ahead and get started, try and get a bunch of other stuff taken care of, and see how much we can pack into, I don't know, about 30, 35 minutes. Make a nice, easily digestible video of some nice progress for the town. So we'll go ahead and start off by just adding a couple more of these foresters up here, because obviously the goal here, if you're not familiar with the game, is these guys who work in the foresters are kind of like the, well, similarly named forestry in Timberborn. And you have 5 guys can work in here, and they're responsible for planting and cutting down trees. So these are reforestation areas. This one is almost empty. We just have to have these trees cut down. But they will also go all over the map, and they'll cut all these trees down. Most of this map was forested, and I've cut down pretty much every natural tree in the entire map, with the exception of, excuse me, it was the exception of this area up here. And possibly, are these manually placed? Yeah, some of these in here are manually placed, just decorations. So yeah, I do genuinely think these are the only natural trees left in the whole map up here, barring some minor exclusions. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple more of these guys in here, and they'll be able to hopefully manage more of that, because of course, in this game, you have to have firewood to cook food and to heat your house in the winter. And if you don't have firewood, families will move out. You'll see that pop up from time to time up here in the information bar. And if you don't have a ton of firewood, I currently have 301,000 firewood. You might be saying, that is an obscene amount of firewood. There's no way you're going to run out. Trust me. If you don't keep on top of it, you will run out, and it's going to be a absolute cataclysmic disaster for your population. You lose half of your town's population in a week, 2 weeks in game if you don't have any firewood. So I would rather just have way too much. So we'll keep putting a couple more of these guys in here. I'll use the clone tool here. Just back right up to the edge here. Put in a couple more just right next door. And they do have these little flags that denote where the stuff is being built. So you just kind of have to line stuff up correctly here. I like to build pretty densely whenever I can. So we'll put those two there. And then on the side right here, I'm going to go ahead and put in cart parking right here. If I can actually click. And that will allow everybody in the town to just come by, grab a cart, move their materials, move their firewood to all the different stalls we have. Like I've got this one right here. Already this year, 1803, we're in March, mind you, has sold 5,600 units of firewood. This one stall. So far this year, we have sold 1803 firewood. We have sold 51,236 units of firewood in the first 2.5 months. So yes, 300,000 firewood really is not that much. Last year, I spent 130,000 firewood, really? Yeah, well, last year we sold 213,000 firewood. And a lot of people moved out because they couldn't access it because, you know, there's a lot of logistical problems, as you might imagine, with a city with 2,500 individual, like everybody, individual people, like this woman carrying 100 units of firewood. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Who needs the gym when you got to carry firewood around all the time? But that's what's really cool about this game is every individual character, every individual building, every individual everything has a specific task they do in real time. Nothing is simulated. It's all like this guy with the wagon. He's taking it back to his carpentry where he works. It's going to be, I can't remember where I put those. Anyway, he was repairing the cart from somewhere over there. He's going to take that back to this cart parking. And then as soon as that goes back in, someone else is going to be able to use it. So these things break down, they wear down, they have to be repaired by people who work in the cart parking, and they have to go get the supplies to repair from people like our buddies over here in the forestry. They get their wood and they get all their other stuff, and they have metal parts that you have to make at the smithy, which you have to make from stuff that you either create from charcoal pits, or you import iron, or more recently they actually put in an update. Where is it? Right here? Yeah. Where you can take iron ore and smelt it into actual iron. You can't mine iron yet. I think that's an update 5 thing, possibly. But yeah, this game is so incredibly detailed and so deep in like production chains and everything. It is sublime. If you can get everything working correctly and perfectly aligned, perfectly proportioned out to where there's just the right amount of supply and the right amount of labor, it is amazing what you can accomplish in here. It is fantastic. And of course, we have messengers as well. These guys coming in via the river here. We have our, well, I have to X out of this, but we have our river trading right here, and they have their little boats that come in and out, and each boat carries different things. This one, oh, that's the dock. This one is being loaded up with clothing as an export, and we can import and export. I just love this game so much. We gotta import some iron ore and some mead because we have taverns. We have some pretty thirsty people here. I don't have enough an export stock to do any sunflower oil, but I do have, could export some warm clothes. It is March. We're not going to need them for a while. We can always make more. Sallow, we have tons stored. We're not exporting that. But some of these, okay, they've already loaded that for export. That's good. Like I said, the amount of stuff you can do in this game is just unbelievable to people who have not played it before. So if you haven't, I highly, highly recommend picking it up. It's very affordable. I don't remember exactly how much it costs. I think it's less than $30. It's on Steam. It's on GOG, I think, and you can also buy it at ostrivgame.com. Support the developer and his team in Ukraine directly. That's how I got mine before, well, it was before it was put on Steam. Sometime in Alpha 2, I think. That's when I picked that up. But yeah, it's fantastic. It is a beautiful game. And I'll quit rambling now so we can actually get some sort of a semblance of progress done. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and park the camera here, turn on a little bit of a high speed, and then we'll watch them build these 2 foresters and a cart parking, slightly sped up so you can see and appreciate the incredible amount of detail that goes into each building in this game. Every single board placed by a character work in the construction office. Like, you can watch these guys just unload the carts, place the materials on the ground, and then pick everything up and put it exactly where it gets to go. Like, who else is going to have that level of detail in this game? It is just amazing. So we'll go ahead and watch them build these, and then we'll come back and head on to something else. Alright, so they're taking forever to get to this, so I guess we'll just cut there and then very quickly set all this stuff to the correct settings. I want to emphasize firewood production, of course. So we'll just set all of these to produce 1,000 wood, 10,000 firewood, and no bark. Bark is just used for tanning, and I have other foresters that can take care of all that. Forestries, I always mix up the terminology. But we can just copy-paste all of the hiring settings. Of course, we have different months we can specify for on-season, off-season. Forestries, I just always have all the guys all the time. And just like that, we have 10 more guys working here. They're going to get to work cutting down these trees and taking care of all of this. And pretty soon, this reforestation area is going to be ready to get replanted. They have plenty of other trees to be planting. That's why I put 10 of them here, so they can keep an eye on all that. And of course, we have up here, we have these 2 guys working on these 4 areas. 5, actually. I could probably build another couple of forestries up here. Give them a little bit of help. These warehouses are entirely full of firewood, and they've got carts and everything. So yeah, a lot of the game revolves around making sure you have enough firewood for all of your houses, and I have no idea how many houses we've got in this one. It is quite involved, but I digress. We have, you know, these guys, they said they were plowed, but we haven't had the actual plowed texture, this brown. We haven't had that show up, which is kind of concerning, but we watched these guys just go all the way around, so you know it's plowed. And we're going to get the benefit of it being plowed, which is a higher crop yield and everything. Cart parking's done. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and order 4 carts here. Carpenters will make all that stuff up. This guy is kind of stuck on the ground. This happens a lot when you're pushing game to the absolute limit. And just completely abusing it, trying to make as big of a city as possible. Yeah, so this will help this area out a little bit. We have all of this space up here. Gonna fill it with a whole lot more houses. We can't go too far because every house has to be within range of a market, which this area is right here. We have a bunch of different things that we're stocking up here. But we can go ahead and put a few more houses in right here, because we have all this other space. I don't know exactly what the range is. See if I can find. It'll tell me if there's no house in, or no market in range, rather. Can I really go all the way up here? Where's my warning for there's no Oh, it's not going to tell me because I have a market stall right here. But I guess suffice to say, those of you who aren't aware, you have to be within range of a market stall. It's not going to give me a radius. I kind of wish it did. But it's some sort of something. I think this one might be on the very far edge up here. So we can build pretty much anywhere in this area and be fine. We'll put a couple more of these just regular houses without garden plots. They haven't planted their house gardens yet either. Or the... Okay, yeah, some of these guys have. I don't know, the game could also be having quite a bad time trying to keep up with all the graphics to render, as I punish by running it for years on the same save. But if you haven't noticed, these houses are all pretty unique designs. They're randomly generated based on a couple of different, I guess, modules, you could say. So when you build a bunch of them next to each other, they really look authentic. They have different, like, structures to the roofs, to the walls, the interior layout. Some of them have these windows on the second floor, the attic. Some of them don't. So, you know, it's just, there's a lot of really great detail in this game. I love it so much. Like, this truly, it really is. I still think, as much Timberborn as I've played, I think this is still my favorite game presently. But we're going to go ahead and put a couple houses in and just try to make sure these are all lined up relatively nicely here. Flip them around. Just try to just keep things pretty nicely organized. We'll just build a little block of 6 houses here. Don't crash, thank you. And then when that's all done, we can come back in and put in some details, add a couple trees, and maybe put in a couple more of these wells, because these people will also move out if they don't have access to water. So another thing, we can sit here and watch the fantastic detail of all these houses being built. We'll sit here and do another building time lapse, and we'll see you on the other side. Yeah, watch these guys. Watch these guys putting these individual boards in. I know we just had this huge time lapse, but look at that. Every individual board. The detail never ceases to amaze me. It is just unbelievable the amount of work and love that goes into this game. That's why it's my favorite. And there we go. We have 6 houses. And a very long and dangerous autosave. Or maybe it's going to crash. Okay, good. Autosave actually worked. Oh, that was a little stressful. I put these 2 houses a little too close together. But we'll survive. You'll notice that people are going to try at some point to kind of go between these houses. I don't really... okay, that shouldn't have been able to work. I don't really like that, so I usually try to put fences in between the backyards here. So that will keep people from going in too close to stuff. But like, see, look at all these. They got flowers in front, even the ones without the yards. They've got flowers and they're different. They're actually like semi-randomized. I mean, obviously this is the same patch of stuff as this and blah, 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 blah. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful game. All right, let's reforest all those trees. They'll have a fun time planting. So even with 10 of these, 10 foresters, they are still taking forever to plant all these trees. It is a gargantuan undertaking to try and get everything done in this game. You'll notice we've put all these different things in. And right now I'm looking at the timer in OBS. I've recorded 36 minutes of footage. I think the video at this point is probably only going to be maybe about 15 to 20 minutes. I have to do a lot of condensing when I do these, just by virtue of having to do all the time lapses and everything. And yeah, like this still doesn't look like there's any crops or anything here. So I don't really understand what's going on with that, because it's definitely growing stuff. We got hemp, we got sunflower. We should be seeing sunflowers. We should be seeing the crops actually grow, like right here. Like we'll be able to see. I think this is yeah, that's wheat. We got buckwheat. We got potatoes. We got hemp. We got sunflowers. Yeah, we should be able to see all these little crops. Like, look at those things. So I don't know, maybe this farm is just broken or something, because it just looks exactly the same as it always does. I don't really understand that. Doesn't make a lot of sense. These two granaries are set up to just hold everything we're growing here that will actually fit in a granary. We have, and we're growing hemp. We've got wheat, potato, flax, sunflower. Now, we probably should actually build a couple more of these warehouses because we have to be able to store everything. And I just put firewood here because I needed to make sure I had more firewood. Like right now we have 315,000 firewood. I'm telling you, it's not enough. I promise you. Now, let's go ahead and just real quick right here, let's put in a couple more of these warehouses just for all of the stuff that we're going to grow that can actually go in a warehouse. And then we'll go do, I actually don't know if I have this lined up correctly or not. It used to have these yellow outlines for both things. Maybe we'll come back after that first one's done and get that all figured out. But yeah, there's so much stuff that we can do and that we have to do in this game. And that's why I kind of stopped making videos on it, because having just so much of just the same thing every single video without really much progress unedited, it's not good content. It's fun to play. I really love playing this game, but I don't think people very much enjoy that. So that was kind of the idea I had with this series, is just to kind of make incremental updates in a video and then play offline for an hour or 2 hours and then make another video showing what was done in the meantime. So that's going to be what most of the rest of the Ostriv updates are until we get to 3,000 people. We have been very, very slowly climbing that number, but keep in mind, in this game, immigration will only happen if there's space in houses, and right now we have no housing available, and we have a bunch of young families with kids. Okay, that first one I clicked on was not the right, but like, look at this lineage. Right here you have these two, grew up about 5 years apart, but they each have parents. You click on the parents' house, and these have 3 kids. And this guy is 29 years old, still lives at home because there is not a home for him to move into. And in this game, the marriages will not occur unless there's an empty home for 2 people to get married and move into together to start their own family. So he's waiting for a potential wife. This guy's 13, so he's got some time. See who else? 14. Who else has? Okay, yeah, they've got 2 kids that have already moved out. This is a big family. I think I had one that might have had 5 kids a long time ago. Yeah, see, she is, I think 18. They're allowed to get married in this game. So, like, they've got so many kids that are just waiting. Well, this guy will be pretty close pretty soon. But that's part of the problem, is this population number is not really going to go up unless you build a ton of houses at once. You clear out the queue for people waiting to get married and find a house. And then you have people actually move in from outside. So that's why it can seem sometimes, if you, especially if you haven't built any houses for a while, it feels like you can just build a ton and then the population doesn't go up. Well, it's because you have a backlog of people trying to get married and take care of all that stuff. So right now, let's take a look at our rest of our economy in terms of food producing. Seems like we're doing okay. Like, some of the stuff that the people will grow in their houses, obviously is going to say 0 because it's not quite harvest season yet. And not all of these houses have, doesn't seem like they've all planted gardens. So these guys have. These guys have not. Actually, none of these, except for like these berry bushes and then these beehives, show anything, which is kind of weird. It's like this entire corner of the map just isn't rendering any crops. These guys all have some. Well, most of them. I don't know, that's weird. Maybe I just need to restart the game. But I promise you, all of these guys do. Look at all these. They got magnificent crops in their yard, and they've got all sorts of different stuff that they're hoarding, and they can sell to the marketplace if they so desire. Oh man, these graves. Don't even get me started on these. Can I find out how many I actually have? No, it's not going to tell me. But I have 1,800 adults. I have, wow, 20% unemployment. I need to make more jobs. It can be kind of a difficult balance to strike in this game. But we need to have more things for people to do. And part of that I had always thought was to just have high numbers of laborers available. Like for example, right here, you have these workers, and then you can designate laborers to supply stuff. And if they're available, they'll just go do it. But to be quite honest with you, the inner machinations of how the labor system of this game works kind of escape me. I just kind of throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, honestly. And most of the time it works out fine. Sometimes it doesn't. But I digress. There's so much going on in this game that we have to take care of. And I really need to, at some point, build another graveyard, because I've got one here. I've got one here at the church. I've got one... Where's the other church? Right here. I've got just a regular graveyard somewhere. I know we already showed this one right here. But there's so many dead people. They all have to go. So like, look at this. Look at all these. And I think at this point, I'm still like 10 years behind dead people. They just stack up, which is kind of morbid. But every single person that dies has to have a gravestone, or you're going to have this warning in the corner. Again, amazing game. Super in-depth. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but I absolutely love it. I just don't know why. Yeah, see, like it shows up in the farm as being harvested. We have all of these laborers and everything, but we're not seeing anything. Okay, we can see the bundles. Like this is the hemp. We can see the bundles of hemp as they pick it up out of the ground, but we don't actually see the crops growing. So I guess that's a bug. I'm not going to submit that bug report because the devs have other more important things to do right now. But yeah, that's the first time I've seen that. It's very strange, but yeah, these guys are going to get to work on that. We've got this this thing right here. I guess we can go ahead and designate just one warehouse for each. One warehouse for each thing that is being produced at the farm. We'll just go ahead and just stack these right up next to each other gradually. I think we're doing, what was it? Flax, hemp, wheat. Flax, hemp, and wheat can all go in a warehouse, I believe. The sunflowers probably also. Yeah, the buckwheat, the wheat, and the potatoes. Oh, barley. Now, why did I designate... Can we actually plant barley? Am I just dumb? I meant to... Oh, we can. Okay. That's a precursor to brewing, I believe, which is one of the things that was supposed to come out in Alpha 5. But that's probably still quite a ways off. Anyway. Yeah, that's a little bit of a look at our Ostriv town here. I am going to do a little bit more to close out the episode with a nice big building time-lapse, but I really love this game, and I'm so excited for whenever they're able to put Alpha 5 out, and it's going to be so much fun. Of course, we'll start a brand new playthrough with that, and we'll see everything else that gets added to the game when that gets released. Well, let's go ahead and close out this episode. I'm going to put in bunch of houses and some other stuff, and we'll just have a nice time lapse of everything getting built, and we'll see you in the next episode. I'm not sure when the next Ostriv video I post will be, but tomorrow, of course, Tuesday, will be a Time Reborn video, and then later on in the week we have some other fun stuff we're going to take a look at as well. So yeah, just thanks so much for watching. We will certainly be looking into the rest of this as time goes on. Yeah. Close out with a time lapse. I appreciate you. I really hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. As always, you can leave any comment down below. I read every single one. I can't always respond, but I do appreciate them. So if you have any comments, questions, concerns about the game or about anything we've discussed, leave them below. I'll try to respond. I will definitely enjoy reading all of them, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.